So looking at this idea of African holistic healing, there are some components that I would like to put out there, which basically is a segue from what I was just sharing. This idea that healing cannot really be separated from these aspects that are often thought of as spiritual or maybe tangential in some modern medicine context, even herbal ones, where you're like thinking about the plants and the compounds, the active constituents, and how they affect various different microbes and various different body systems. That there are these aspects that are really wedded to indigenous practices throughout the world. Some other major introduced herbaceous plants I have listed here. There's about 100 species total that are important globally, but I just highlighted some major ones that people might be familiar with. Some that are closely associated with the African American communities, like black-eyed peas and okra and pigeon peas. Some other more obscure plants that people might be less familiar with. The hyacinth bean is an interesting one, grown as ornamental in some people's gardens in North America. It's also something pretty famous as a food. And a number of other of these that are listed are more forages for animals and something that allowed the livestock situation to flourish in the Americas. So something I just wanted to mention is this idea that there are some potentially poisonous plants that are within the Ethnobotany tradition. About 245 species were considered as the vast majority of the ethnobotany list of ethnobotanical plants for African Americans, and this book by William Ed Grime, and then this very fascinating book of African American home remedies by Eddie Boyd lists about 163 remedies, of which mostly they were plants, but there's all these other substances beyond plants. And then you have the Spanish-speaking Caribbean islands, and here you start to see this effect of various different African traditions coming into Cuba largely and spread from there to other places. And the big one is Regla de Ifa and the Surinamese tradition, speaking to this idea of maroons, which are basically escaped slaves that were able to get their freedom by running away. They are some of the wonders of being able to figure out the relatives in new places of the things that they knew back from Africa.